Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching Viewpoint. I'm Anusha Soni. Our top focus this hour on Viewpoint tonight is the no confidence motion debate which is ensuing on the floor of the House. It was a day full of barbs and repeated attacks coming in from the opposition side. On one side, the BJP asked the Congress party as to why did Rahul Gandhi not begin the debate on the floor of the House, and on the other side, the opposition questioned that why is it that Prime Minister is not present. Well, we'll wait to hear from many such big speakers on the floor of the House. But one thing is abundantly clear, that as far as the number game is concerned, this no confidence motion is bound to fail. Then what is it that the opposition seeks to generate? Perhaps the right political noises and a political discourse that INDIA wants in its favor. We are very close to the crucial assembly elections in the Hindi heartland. And who can forget the big battle of 2024? Much more to follow up in the next 2 days. That remains our focus here on CNN News 18, and that's the big topic to be debated on Viewpoint tonight.
बताइए, शहर का नाम
हिंदू सभ्यता संस्कृति में बिलीव कर रही है, इसीलिए अलौकिका पंडिता की तरह जो पूरा किताब में लिखा हुआ है कि क्या क्या करना चाहिए भारतीय नारी को, उसका पूरा का पूरा पिक्चर सोनिया जी देगी। उनको दो काम करना है, बेटे को सेट करना है।
आज आप लोग मणिपुर का नाम लेकर के, नॉर्थ ईस्ट का नाम लेकर के बार बार जो आप लोग बोल रहे हैं, काश आप लोग 2014 के पहले के परिस्थिति को याद करते तो आपको आज नॉर्थ ईस्ट का नाम अपने जुबान पर लेने के लिए भी आपको सोचना पड़ना था।
प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने एक मौन व्रत लिया कि सदन में ना लोकसभा में कुछ बोलेंगे, ना राज्यसभा में कुछ बोलेंगे, और इसीलिए अध्यक्ष महोदय ये नौबत आनी पड़ी कि हम अविश्वास प्रस्ताव के द्वारा प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का मौन व्रत हम तोड़ना चाहते हैं।
जुमले पे जुमला, लाइक अमित शाह जी सच बोलते, आपकी बात साइड से बहुत कम। ये वो या गडकरी साहब बोले थे कि ये जुमला ये गले की हड्डी हो गया, ना नीचे जा रही है ना बाहर आ रही है। दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम।
और मैं सरकार से सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि सितंबर 2020 से जब से ये सदन मिला था कोविड के बाद, आज तक इस सदन में चीन के ऊपर चर्चा नहीं। क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कि ऐसी थिएटर लेवल की इंकर्शन हो, घुसपैठ हो और हमारे खुफिया तंत्र को पता न लगे?
Well, it's a no confidence motion, and at the end of the day, it's about numbers. So let's tell you about the numbers. How do they stack up, and why are the numbers in favor of the government? Well, it doesn't require too much intelligence to guess that the NDA has the numbers on their side. They've been able to pass all the crucial bills that they have wanted so far. But the numbers in favor of the government at around 365. We told you here first on CNN News 18, the BJP alone at about 301. And there are different camps. The Shinde camp with 13, RLJP at 5, BJD at 12. You also have YSRCP at 22 and others at 12. That's the number government looking very strong with as far as the numbers is concerned in favor of the government, 365. That's how it stacks up. So government at 365, the majority mark is 272. They're very, very comfortable with that. As I said earlier, that if no confidence motion is only about the numbers, then the government is very comfortable. That's not their worry. The worry here for the government and the focus of the opposition with about 141 is that they want to get the political narrative somehow in their control, and narrative is something that defines how political developments are going to play out. Let's look at these numbers. The government, BJP at 301. You also have Shinde at 13, RLJP at 5, BJP at 12, YSRCP at 22 and others at 12, undecided 32. But it's not crucial or critical here, keeping in mind that the government already has the numbers that it requires to defeat this no confidence motion. Opposition standing at 141. INDIA, that united opposition, that united coalition which is there, and wants to present a narrative together against the government. Their focus has been largely to ensure that somehow issues like Manipur and various other issues like price rise come to the center, come to be debated. Well, will this entire discourse by the opposition parties really stick? Can they really see this through? And will they be able to get the message right to the people? I want to cut across to our guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Anila Singh of the BJP is with us on the show. We also have Abhinandita Mathur, who's the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. We'll also have other guests joining us. But good evening to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Abhinandita, first to you. Yesterday was a very important day on the floor of the House, and a crucial bill which the Aam Aadmi Party is staunchly against was passed. And the government was able to get through the bill with decisive numbers. There's no confidence motion here. The worry of the government is not about the numbers. The opposition is trying to get the narrative in their favor. How confident are you that this new energized opposition will be able to take on the giant machinery of the BJP?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, first of all, the opposition is not trying to build a narrative in our favor. Most importantly, we want the Prime Minister of India to come to the Parliament, a Parliament for which he has spent so much money, our money, taxpayers' money, and he celebrated its inauguration with so much fun and flair, and now we want him to, be present in the Parliament and address the Parliament, and through it address the people of this country. Address the representatives of the country and talk about Manipur and many other pressing problems that the country has. So if, we are hoping that if Pradhan Mantri ji is kind enough to step into the Parliament that he built with so much hoo-ha, then that should be good enough for now. We really need the Prime Minister who's absent from the Parliament to at least show up, and which is why we've had to call a no confidence motion. As far as the narrative is concerned, honestly, it's for everybody to see what is happening. Do you think that the people of this country are not realizing what kind of vendetta politics the BJP is doing today?
Yeah.
Do you think that they don't realize that the BJP is trying to crush the opposition completely, intimidate them? Their parliamentarians in parliament, on the floor of parliament, are saying things like, "Chup ho jao, nahi to ED bhej denge." Just imagine the kind of, gundagardi, so to speak, BJP is doing, and the whole country can see it, So not everybody might be speaking against them at the moment, but I'm sure people will speak with their votes in 2024.
The Janta Janardhan, when they cast their votes, will decide. We are also joined by Mr. Sulaiman Mohammed Khan of the Congress Party and Mr. Rajgopalan, who's a senior journalist. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. Anila ji, I want you to respond to what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying. It's not just the narrative. They believe that with the pressing issues, the opposition will be able to counter the government.
My Ram to all, and I was very well listening to Ms. Mathur, and in such humble way and in such simple way, she said, see, Parliament was not working and the money was going all out in the drain. I have to tell her, our money, your money, my money. So I have to tell her, Ms. Mathur, first of all, check your facts. If you talk about taxpayers' money, then go and tell your leader, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, why he has jetted so much of money in the renovation of the Sarkari Makan which he has got, because in next term he will be ousted as a chief minister. This is what Bharatiya Janata Party or the NDA keeps on saying, that why don't you let the Parliament work? Parliament is one place where policy should be discussed, debated. But somehow the opposition party, the new allied partners of Dotted India, they said, okay, hum nahi chalne denge. Bhaad mein jaye janta, hamara kaam banta. This was the attitude of this alliance. Now they have forced this no confidence motion. They know it very well that they are not going to stand anywhere near NDA. Yet they want to waste time and money of this nation. They are doing that. So whole of the country knows that Narendra Modi ji is the Prime Minister who has worked so much for Northeast.
So Anila ji, you very candidly believe that this is surely a waste of time. That's what you're arguing. I'll take the Congress Party spokesperson also on this issue. Sulaiman ji, it's abundantly clear that the numbers are in favor of the BJP. Then what is it that the opposition is trying to achieve?
No, opposition has the most important responsibility. And the responsibility is to question the government on issues on which the government completely fails. Any issue, it can be any issue. The major issue today is on which this no confidence motion has been moved by the Congress Party, including the other opposition parties, what we call as India. So the issue was Manipur. Manipur was burning for 80 days. But the Prime Minister was maintaining a deafening silence on the issue. Is Manipur out of India? Are people of Manipur not our people? What does this government thinks? Why the Prime Minister does not speak for 80 days? Why he has not visited Manipur? And why he has not removed the Chief Minister Biren
No,
Singh?
but Suleimanji, I take those points, and those are very valid questions that the opposition parties are raising. I'm not wasting a second to say that these are not pertinent issues. These are very critical national and internal security issues. But this is not just a debate on Manipur. This is a no confidence motion.
Yes, it is.
And it's bound to be defeated, keeping in mind that the numbers are in favor of the BJP or the NDA.
Madam, with due respect to you and your political understanding, completely, it doesn't matter that this motion is defeated or becomes successful.
Why is it not important, sir? Why don't you augment my political understanding?
Madam, no, I am not commenting your understanding. I am sorry.
Yes.
With most humbleness, I am not passing any comment. I am sorry if you have understood that.
No,
I'm just saying that, we have a responsibility. It doesn't matter that this motion passes through or it gets defeated. The important thing which matters is that the Prime Minister was nowhere on the scene. He was not speaking. He was in America, he was in France. When your home is burning, you are doing diplomacy in France and America. You have to, if my house burns, I'll go on something. What is more important than my own house? Just see. Just look at your house.
Sir, the statements that you're making are pretty consistent. Yes, finish your point. Finish your point. Yes, finish your point.
This confidence motion, which we have been pressing since 25th of July, generally when the no confidence motion is moved against the government, all business is suspended. This government has broken that precedent also. They passed their bill by force. They were not allowing the House to function. They have blocked the proceeding of the House. And finally, this now no confidence motion has been, started discussion. Let's see what the Prime Minister said. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what will be the fate of
You've made your point. Mr. Rajgopalan is a very senior journalist. He's also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Rajgopalan, do you agree with that understanding that it doesn't matter what the fate of the no confidence motion is? And in your understanding, what is the united opposition trying to achieve through this debate and discussion?
They have spoiled the 10 days. That is what my understanding. Because you wait and watch, Anusha Soniji. Government is passing bills, but opposition says they are stalling the House. What a contradiction. And opposition has no focus. They say 167 rule. In Rajya Sabha, that rule is different. In 267 in Lok Sabha, that rule is different. But they want to insist that Prime Minister should come. Now they diluted that. Because Prime Minister, there is no way in the rules there is a mention that Prime Minister should initiate the discussion in either in 267 or 165. So my understanding is they brought no confidence motion.
Suleimanji, I'll come to you. Let him finish his point. Yes, Mr. Rajgopalan.
Thereby, government was to be critically examined. There is a question aware. There is a short notice. There is a calling attention motion. Why opposition failed in that? Because there is no unity. There is no unity in opposition. And ruling party is enjoying
Mr. Rajgopalan, I want both Abhinandita and Suleimanji to respond to that. Abhinandita, first to you, then I'll go to the Congress party.
Look, first of all, I don't agree with Mr. Rajgopalan as usual, with due respect, because I think his view is very, very biased, especially in this context. I don't think that there is any...
Rajgopalanji, let her make a point.
Assume and presume that
40 years of service in Lok Sabha,
whether or not the opposition...
No, one second. Let me clarify it here. Abhinandita, 1 second.
The fact of the matter,
this is not a personal comment which has been made. She's expressed a view about your views on a particular subject, and I believe that should be
because of the rules.
Yes.
Because of the rules.
Why don't you listen to her argument and then I'll come back to you. Abhinandita, make your argument.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that I don't think it is any longer about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 opposition parties. It's not about just the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress and the Samajwadi Party and so on. I think what is happening is that there is a genuine sentiment of discontent from the Modi government. People are fed up. and people of India are now coming together to basically defeat this NDA. And whether or not, we succeed, time will tell. But certainly the pulse of the people says this, the pulse of the people on the ground are
Abhinandita, I want you to respond to this argument.
They are very...
That was said very candidly by Mr. Rajgopal, and he said this is a waste of time because there is crucial business which is happening in the House and those subjects are not being taken up for debate. Instead, this debate has somehow come to be, an opportunity for all political parties to propagate their political agendas, but not a serious debate and discussion that should happen on the floor of the House. Abhinandita.
Look, historically in our democracy, the parliament has played a very critical role, not only in passing laws, but also in actually representing what the people think, in representing the will of the people, in making sure that certain arguments or discussions are done in the parliament. And that way, I think the opposition is playing an incredible role at the moment, for, forcing the Prime Minister to come to the parliament. There is no reason, if he has all the time in the world to, visit other countries and address their parliaments, for God's sake, make a press conference here, attend the parliament here.
You've made your point. You've made your point. I need to bring in Mr. Rajgopalan
and then Anila. I don't think it is a waste of time at all. I think
you've made your point. Mr. Rajgopalan, a quick rebuttal from you and then Congress and the BJP, please. Yes.
What a climb down of opposition. They say Prime Minister should come. There is no mention in the rules, 167 or 265, that Prime Minister should come. Now they have accepted the no confidence motion. Now, my point is, why did you waste the question hour? Why did you waste the 0 hour? Why are you wasting the, call attention notice? 10 days, opposition wasted the parliament time. 1 hour it is.
One at a time. Suleimanji, Congress party, can I please have the Congress party? Suleimanji, a quick point from you. A quick point.
2 crore rupees wasted.
Mr. Rajgopalan, you've made your point. You've made your point. Yes, Mr. Suleiman, please go ahead. Make your point.
I say Mr. Rajgopalan ji should become a spokesperson of the BJP.
No, but one second, sir. But I think these are personal attacks. I mean, you might not agree with the view. One second, sir. Hear me out. Sir, hear me out. I might find your views very biased, or you might find my views very biased. But to tell somebody to go and become a spokesperson, I think that's a very personal comment. Yes.
Why did you waste parliament time? Why did you waste parliament time?
That's a side, sir. That's a side. Mr. Suleiman, please go ahead and make a point. Yes.
Madam, it's a fact that the party in power is responsible for running the parliament. They were blocking the parliament. From first day we have been saying have a discussion on Manipur under Rule 267. Suspend all business. They have not done it. They have not done it. Parliament time was wasted because of the government for the first time in the history.
No, how was it wasted because of the government? How was it wasted because of the government?
Last 9 years we have seen every time the government is uncomfortable on discussion in which the opposition is going to ask questions to them. The parliament, did not allow the parliament to function. We have seen this on Rafael, we have seen this on this and many other issues. Pegasus we have seen on this, Manipur. And finally, when some order, they passed the bill under, without any discussion. Important bills have been passed in this session.
Okay, I have to bring in BJP into the discussion. Anilaji, one thing is being repeated.
Last point.
Last point. Make your point. Yes.
Last point. Why Mr. Gopalacharya is saying there is no rule that Prime Minister should open the debate. Who is the Prime Minister? He's the citizen of the country.
Point well made. Anilaji, one thing which is being repeatedly said in this discussion is, both by the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, that we wanted the Prime Minister to come forward and make a statement on the floor of the House, and the opposition has succeeded in doing so because somewhere the authority was running away from its responsibility. Tell us about that, counter that argument.
I have a simple question from both of them, that in our democracy, which is more powerful, which is more respected, Prime Minister or citizens of this country? So the citizens of this country or the voters of this country, when they wanted that there should be debate, there should be discussion in the parliament, why this dotted I and DIA allied partners didn't allow parliament to work? It is their fault. They said, अभी मैं सुन रही थी सुलेमान जी कह रहे थे कि नहीं ये तो जिम्मेवारी जो होती है सत्ताधारी सरकार की होती बिल्कुल होती है साहब, but at what point? Protest, gun point, you want to protest, you want to create ruckus, mayhem inside the parliament. Then, honorable chair, they like Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, Both of them, they have to ask these members that you please go out. In this way, Parliament can't function. This is the way of working of this dotted India allied partners. And what two things Mr. Suleiman and Ms. Mathur has to say, that today morning, Rahul Gandhi ji was supposed to do the debate, to open the debate. Okay. 11:55, a letter comes and it intimates Rahul ji जो है ना वो debate नहीं करेंगे. क्या मसला है? And one of the allied partners.
अनिला जी, आप कांग्रेस के सूत्र तो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि राहुल गांधी तभी बोलेंगे जब प्रधानमंत्री सदन में मौजूद होंगे. वो तो ये भी कह रहे हैं.
One more thing they have to answer, that in yesterday's debate, when voting had to happen for ordinance, Delhi service bill, one of the allied partner, he was not there. He was not there. He was not there on the floor to vote. Abhi se itna kamzor ho gaya. What you're talking about? Whole of the nation knows the reality.
All right, Suleiman ji, I'm sure you want to respond. You're raising your hand. Go ahead.
The whole problem is, there are two things to tell. The whole problem is Rahul Gandhi. When he will speak, why he has not spoken, where he is going. The problem is Rahul Gandhi ji is asking such, pointed questions to the government that it's troubling the Prime Minister.
नहीं, but सुलेमान जी ये सवाल का जवाब दे दीजिए ना बीजेपी को कि आज राहुल गांधी सदन में मौजूद क्यों नहीं थे? That's what Anila Singh is asking, that he was supposed to open the debate. Why didn't that happen? And I asked them the question about the Prime Minister as well. I'll ask that again to the BJP. But this question is for you. Yes.
Very, very good question. I asked 3 questions. We have been asking for 100 days now. Why has the Prime Minister not visited Manipur? Why is was silent for 80 days, and why he has not removed the Chief Minister, and why he is in France and America. His house is burning. These are the questions. Question is not that Rahul Gandhi was not for a day in the Parliament. He was not in the Parliament for 4 months, and we know why. Government has to reply. Opposition is being put in the witness box.
Nobody is putting the opposition in the witness box.
Nobody who has seen those videos of women naked being paraded on the streets and being actually humiliated, harassed, sexually assaulted.
So even when you talk about that incident and that video, it riles me up as a woman to think about it. And it was a very disturbing video and incident that had come to light. None other than the Supreme Court has taken cognizance of it. Yes. But let's keep the debate focused. Let's keep the debate focused to what's happening on the floor of the House. Anila ji, a pointed question which has been repeatedly asked by the opposition on the issue of Manipur over the statement of the Prime Minister, and why is the BJP so obsessed with Rahul Gandhi? That's what Congress is asking you. Respond to that. Anila ji.
Oh, we are so much obsessed with Rahul Gandhi ji. That is why we wanted him to see.
Suleiman ji, let her make a point. No. Let her make a point one at a time. Anila Singh, please. Yes.
This is what I am saying. हाँ, हम बहुत obsessed हैं. हम तो चाहते हैं कि राहुल गांधी को हम हर वक्त पार्लियामेंट में देखें. But as he is a habitual offender of giving wrong statements, similarly, he has a habit of being absent from the parliament. Nothing new about it. Like if you check out the data, you will come to know about his presence in the parliament. He is a non-serious parliamentarian.
But then Anila ji, he's not important. No, he's not important. But Anila ji, he's not important. I'm saying it as bluntly as possible. Suleiman ji, one at a time.
A child who wants to study humanities, they are forcing him to study science.
But one second. This debate should not get.
How many press conferences Prime Minister Modi has done? How many press conferences? None.
All right. Why don't you both hold your arguments for a second? Abhinandita ji, please come into the discussion. Manipur is something that the opposition has tried to highlight through this issue, a very, very important and critical issue. The opposition has repeatedly demanded that the Prime Minister should make statement on floor of the House. As this debate and discussion ensues on the floor of the House, the next 2 days are going to be very critical to watch out for. What are the key questions you're seeking answers from the government? Is there a pointed agenda that the united opposition or the INDIA has?
Absolutely. The united opposition does have an agenda. But before that, I'd like to tell Anila ji, and obviously I'm not, I'm not disappointed because this is somebody, her leader, but actually my own Prime Minister has, spent barely 15 hours in the parliament in the last couple of years, right? And that is an incredibly low time for any Prime Minister to spend in the Parliament. He comes to the Parliament when he wants to inaugurate it. He comes to the Parliament when he wants to say something or insult somebody or misuse the floor of the House. I'm very sorry to say this, but that is the fact. So I don't think that, the BJP should even point fingers at any other party.
Something about Raghav Chadha.
Unfortunately, the Prime Minister's attendance is very, very
important. Analaji, I'll give you the
now to answer your question.
Something about him as well.
Now to answer your question about what the opposition leaders, what are the issues that they're going to raise. First thing first, we want to ask questions about Manipur. A, Manipur is a border state. 2, Manipur is an integral part of the country that may have been, neglected for years and years, and Mr. Modi claimed that he's going to, create inclusion like never before. And 3, of course, the kind of violence that has happened against women.
Yes, Mr. Rajgopalan, I'm coming to you after
Not to undermine the violence against women in any other place, but what has happened in Manipur is shameful and extraordinary.
Okay.
So the Manipur being one reason, the other is inflation. I mean, for God's sake, you have not got a raise. How many people in this country have jobs now or have got a raise in their jobs? But look at inflation. Tomato is like 250 rupees a kilo.
All right.
Did we ever think that? Do you think that people are able to
Manipur,
buy toys for their children?
That the opposition wants to highlight. Mr. Rajgopalan,
GST on dahi
both
and
these
paneer.
issues that Abhinandita is talking about are very serious issue. Manipur, of course, nobody can underplay the seriousness or the importance of that issue. It's an internal security issue. But do you think the opposition will be able to set the narrative right or bring the focus of the government and the political debate on these issues through this no confidence motion on the floor of the House? Mr. Rajgopalan.
The Parliament consists of opposition and ruling party Anusha. And the opposition has got every right to corner the government on question of it.
Right.
Why did they fail? Even on Prime Minister, whether he comes or not, why can't the debate start? Because whenever Prime Minister spoke in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha for the last 4 sessions, they drowned him. If you remember in Rajya Sabha, when Prime Minister spoke, "Main akele sabko bari." Why did he say that? Because the entire opposition wanted Prime Minister voice to be drowned. That is why he is taking this type of attitude. And whenever Prime Minister comes, the opposition wants to trouble him. When you have 303 MPs, why should this Rahul Gandhi say about the Prime Minister?
Mr. Rajgopalan, you've made your point. I'm short of time. 30 seconds to the Congress party for a quick response before I end the discussion.
I am completely shocked with the way Rajgopalacharya ji and Anila ji have defended the Prime Minister. Prime
What
Minister
else we can do?
One at a time. 30 seconds to the Congress party. Yes.
Because you spoiled the session.
No, the Prime Minister.
Mr. Rajgopalan, please listen to him. I have not allowed anybody to interrupt you. The same courtesy is extended to all the guests. The Congress party, please.
Why should you?
The Congress party, please. Yes.
A press conference, he will not speak in the Parliament. Who stops him? Why is running away? Why is so scared?
Why can't you talk in Parliament? The same thing. Why can't your leader talk the same thing in Parliament?
Right, that's all the time that I have, but this no confidence motion as far as the numbers are concerned is set to be defeated, and as Abhinandita and the Congress party and Mr. Soleimanji pointed out, this motion is about the opposition trying to bring forth some critical issues on which they want the Prime Minister to speak. Let's see how that really pans out. The next 2 days are going to be very interesting to watch out for. I thank all my panelists for joining us.